First off, I live in Oakland, California. People do not respect that fireworks are for the 4th of July only. So, I can't control if someone's going all end of the Mulan movie on us. So, hello and welcome to Painted Wit, where we love to paint everything, including our faces. Today is a June monthly favorites. How the time has flown. How was it already July? I don't like it. I'm going to be going through some of my favorite products that I used on my face this whole last month. Some of the products came in during the month, but they became very quick favorites, and others were, almost all of them are new in the last couple months, but there is one stand-up repeat from the past product, so I'll get into that. I suppose we should go in order of how I do my face. Starting with foundation. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. It is not at all what I thought it would be. It is so much more. I got a bunch of Pat McGrath things to try for my Black Owned Beauty makeup review that I am still working on. I want to really test these products. But this one, I get it. This is definitely a Harry Makes It Up suggestion that stuck with me, and so when I was looking to get some foundations, I was like, oh, I know it's pricey, but I bet she's good. I take most of my recommendations from makeup artists. I feel like they really, really understand it. It's super liquidy, and I really hate applying it with my fingers. I hate applying any foundation with my fingers. But this goes on beautifully with a brush and even more beautifully with a sponge, which I didn't think it would with such a liquidy foundation, but it adds a little tint, it smooths, it has coverage, but it doesn't feel like it has coverage, and for that reason, it's a favorite. Next we got concealer. These are the Kosas concealers. I started out with shade number 1, and I ended up going back for shade 0.5 because I like to use lighter shades under my eyes, or a lot of the time because I am fair, I end up getting concealers to try that are just slightly too dark, and so I like to have lighter ones on hand to mix in, and this was such an agreeable color and formula to use. I was like, oh, this is something that I would like to have on hand. So shade 1 is a fantastic match to my face. It is perfect. So 0.5 definitely is a little light. I think in the wintertime it would match me pretty perfectly, especially if I didn't put foundation on, because most of my foundation's dark and my complexion just that tiny bit because I am so fair. This might actually work with my Fenty skin tint because I got it in a light shade because I was between shades, and the other one was sold out, and so anyways, I can make it work, and I think this would go well with it. It is creamy, it is medium to full coverage, but it blends out a dream, and I always feel good when I'm wearing it. If there is any time that I'm getting ready and I'm like, I just want this to look good, this is what I go for. And I'm really happy that I have 2 now. I forgot something. The old favorite, the Tarte CC Undereye Corrector. I have talked about how this has an abysmal shade range, and a lot of people have talked about that. I won't show it to you. It's disgusting. I've had it for a while. But I'm using it up. I've been really enjoying just a little bit in my inner eye area, and I feel like it does something, and that's all I want out of a makeup product, to feel like it does something. It is a good shade match for me. It may not be a good shade match for you because, like I said, I have a pretty fair complexion, and there are 2 shades in this whole thing. So if you are, Nima, there's no chance. But Tarte, come out with more shades, please. Okay, and how are we setting that? Did you guess that I was gonna say the Kosas Air? Nope. Did you guess? Did you guess? The Kosas Cloud Set? If you didn't, you're a fool. I have been on and on about this month. Look, you could even see the dent I made. I have just been loving how this applies. It's super easy to use. It doesn't look cakey. It is like a cloud and keeps my makeup set, but it doesn't super duper mattify it. I'm in love. You may be asking, how are you applying all of this? I mentioned a sponge. Well, my favorite sponge of the moment is the EcoTools one. It's super soft. It gets pretty big when you wet it. It's disgusting now because I've been using it today. I really like this more than I thought I would. I like a beauty blender, don't get me wrong. This is an even better shape. It has something similar to the Real Technique sponge where I really like the flat edges. I find it really nice for like patting out blush, and then I'll turn it and I'll like pat out foundation with the big like round side. But an unforeseen way to use it is this part, the side. It perfectly goes under, like in here. So I turn it on its side when I'm patting out my under eye concealer, and it's just the perfect shape. So this was a surprise love. I love the price. I love that it's compostable. I love everything about this. It's even purple. So what's not to love? It's a favorite for a reason. This might be cheating, but for cheek products, Salt New York. I bought this in the Memorial Day sale. It was a great sale. It was like 50% off all the pans if you bought a palette. And I was like, oh, I need to do that. I got 6 pans. Actually, only the middle 2 here and these 2 were 50% off. The, I think it's a Lilac and Tangerine. Those shades were in a bundle and I couldn't get extra off, but that's okay. They were already on sale, so I added them because I wanted to try the cheek blushes. So I got like a raspberry. This one's literally called raspberry. So I love raspberry. I love this kind of blush. I love that Mountain Air Flush, as Khaki calls it. And then this is a pretty standard, like peachy pink blush, but it's also the perfect peachy pink blush. So I got those, and then I love color theory too. So I was like, sometimes I want things to be more purple. Sometimes I would like them to be slightly more orange. Not often, but sometimes. And so I thought, yeah, this is a nice setup. You know, I can mix these 2 to be really purple, or these 2 to be sort of a different color, kind of like this one. I mix these 2 often to get sort of a coral color. It's fantastic. And then we move on to these guys. This cream bronzer. I got the Butter Biscuit cream bronzer from Fenty, and I thought, wow, this is great. This is great. It's a little more pigmented, I think, than this guy. And for that reason, and maybe a little bit darker. And for that reason, this is just even more perfect. I can't over apply it. If I want to add a little bit of color to my face, but not actually look like I'm going for a bronze look, oh my god, is this the most perfect. And then the highlighter is my perfect shade of highlighter. It's a little bit pinky pearl. It's definitely got the like light white feel to it. I have not been able to put down this palette in terms of my cream face products. And there's room left in here. You saw there was some room. I can put in some single shadows that I have, like from MAC, or this Viseart palette that I have. These little pans actually come out, so I would be able to like mix and match with different things and, you know, fill this up and then have even less room taken up in like a traveling bag. So yeah, Salt New York, highly recommend. Time to move on to eyes, and it was a hard choice. There were a lot of things that I tried. I'm still trialing most of them though. The one thing that I have consistently used and consistently mixed into other eyeshadow palettes or just use it on its own, dang Pat McGrath. I can't, $125 is too much for an eyeshadow palette right now for me. It's a lot. I can spend $125 like on several things in one go, but on one thing, my mind is like, you can't do that. So this guy was actually on sale. It was like $30, and I was like, less than $10 an eyeshadow? I find this agreeable. This is in Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad Fleur Fantasia. This is Hutopia. Lavender Blue, Iridescent Orchid, and Lotus Paradise. Yeah. All of these shades are knockouts, which is what you want when you buy an eyeshadow palette that is expensive in theory. Well, in actuality, it was still $30. This lilac purple shade, you may be correct in guessing, is the reason I bought it, but it is not the reason I am loving it. I mean, it's part of the reason. I do love it. But this peachy pale shade is so creamy. It's the only matte, but it's so creamy. And it has found its way as a transition shade into like half the eyeshadow looks that I've done this month. I'm not even exaggerating. And then this really shiny pink duochrome. It's like a peach hot pink duochrome. I've been loving when I want just like a pink eye, like a bold pink eye. This is like a soft pink eye. This is a bold pink eye. And it's great. And then this guy is like a peachy bronze, like a peach bronze, yeah. And so I have been using it on days that I just want something slightly more subtle, but I still want, be a little flashy. This guy's it. I have been using this more under things, like I'll put a topper on top, but all these formulas work fantastic. Highly recommend. I know they're expensive, but if you find something that's on sale, I say go for it. I mean, just because they're discontinuing the shades doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them. And I will think about a big palette. 2 more things. Sticking with eyes, favorite mascara of the month. This Victoria Beckham Beauty mascara. It's a tubing mascara. It's called the Future Lash and has a teeny tiny wand. So it's got a tiny wand, it's slightly curved, and it adds the most beautiful fluttery lashes to my face. I love a volume lash. I've definitely been getting that from some other mascaras that I have when I want it. I think I'm wearing the Fenty mascara today, and volume. I've been trying the Flower Beauty mascara recently. Lots of volume. But this one is on the days that I'm just slightly less makeup heavy and I just want to look put together. And I have maybe a really light makeup eye and just some like Salt New York products on my face. This is the mascara. It comes off easily. It looks great when it's on. It wears beautifully. I just hate the price tag. It's so much. I don't think that I could repurchase this unless it was for science again. I could do anything for science. And lastly, we've got to talk about lips. Oh, spoilers. I'm not exactly sure that I have a favorite. I've been trying out a lot of products. But one thing that did surprise me, I used it a couple times and I was like, oh, hello, is this Beauty Bakerie liquid lipstick. Everyone went to like gloss during the pandemic because they were like, it's coming off anyways, which is true. But why did no one invest in like the intense liquid lipsticks? Like this is intense. It dries down quickly. I went to put it on before going to a family gathering just like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm not feeling this lip. And then I could not take it off. Like I was using just straight oil cleanser, just like rubbing it on my lips and nada. It was the most pain. I like exfoliated my lips like they've never been exfoliated before. It was like I had been wearing a plumping gloss. It was such an intense feeling on my lips. And then I like super had to go in with like a moisturizing lip balm. After that, I was like, we can't do a lip now. I tried it. It didn't work. It just wasn't the vibe. But then, like a couple days later, I was feeling the vibe again. And I was like, oh, I gotta try this again. And it is intense, but it lasted all day. It is a little drying, but I've never minded that as a liquid lip wearer. You know, most of the time you just add on a gloss if you're done with it being the way it is. It changes the way that it wears on your lips and it's over. But I can go the whole day with it like this. And the only places that it weared was like on the inside of my lips, you know, that Mochalicious placement from Christy. But that was like 8 hours wear. And I think most of the time you wouldn't be wearing it. If, you know, this for just an event, perfection. I got mine in Mon Cheri. I am tempted to get more. I mean, I love me a red lip, so this was not a hard sell. I did order some The Balm Meet Matte Hues liquid lipsticks. I loved those back in the day. They smell like Thin Mints. So I got a mini pack to try out because I want to do more liquid lipstick stuff. We're still wearing masks. And I had to throw mine out eventually because they just got old. But I loved them. So I'm going to put them to the test against this one. Maybe one of the shades will be similar and I can do that. This is the favorite, but it's also like a wowza. Like, it comes with a warning. You gotta want to really have something on your lips for a long time. But if that's what you're looking for, I would try it. Okay, and that was my June favorites. I really, really loved the things that were in my monthly favorites this month. I'm so excited to play around with some of the other new makeup that I received maybe at the end of this month or that's coming very soon, so I can feature them in next month. I just know they're going to be good. I just want to keep trying them and then let you guys know how great they are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give a like or subscribe to let me know that you like these monthly favorites, and I'll see you in the next one.